Are you an empath who consistently falls for the wrong people? Do you fall in love with crazies, traumatized people, people with personality disorders? In this video, I'm going to be explaining the reasons this happens and the best thing that you can do to change it. My name is Adam. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started, please take a second to like and subscribe. And I just want to let you know I'm doing some more free breakthrough calls. A breakthrough call is a 30-minute Zoom call where we go over your vision for your life, what you're looking to create, the things that have been blocking and stopping you from getting there, and what you can do to really call it forth. Okay, so this is a very popular, common issue that I find with sensitive, spiritual, empathic people. Falling for the wrong guy, falling for the wrong girl. I have extensive experience with this personally. One of my best friends has extensive experience with this as well. Who can relate to this? There's just something, it's like fun, it's exciting, it's dramatic. And I'm gonna tell you now some of the reasons why this happens. Ultimately, it only ends up biting you in the ass. It ends up draining your energy. You end up entangled in these messes of, quantum nightmares. You end up like entangled with entities and all sorts of stuff that you don't want to be spending your time with, but sometimes we just can't help it. It's kind of fascinating. Why do we do this? Well, the first reason is the obvious empath reason. If you watch videos on being an empath, I'm going to keep it short. You're trying to save them. All right, you feel like a love for them, you feel a compassion for the trauma that they're in, and you want to help. And you don't have your boundaries strong enough, and you don't have your discernment strong enough. And so you just energetically attract to them because you're used to giving your energy away. It's sort of a fixer-up project. You'd rather invest your time and energy into them than really give it to yourself, because then you have to do deeper healing. You're not used to having very strong boundaries. You don't really know how to say no very well. And this conglomeration of belief systems and traumas and energies within yourself, along with just being the light worker who feels like they're called here to help others, just draws it in. And it never works. And it always just manifests more trauma. And the answer to this is yes, it's boundaries, it's working with your body, it's finding the wounds within yourself, healing this, putting yourself first, saying no, and moving on. But what are a few of the more intricate, not as talked about reasons that this happens? Well, the more sort of darker spiritual reasons, not dark, but sort of darker. So when someone is super traumatized, they're open. Their energy is open. Most people are completely stuck and mired in the matrix. They're very dense. They're not that connected to spirit. They have a very strong identity and sense of who they are, most of which is completely wrong because it's just, automaton-based matrix robotic sort of programming. And they go through their life like this, and they're very closed, but to some extent, they have a pretty strong sense of who they think they are, and their soul may be somewhat aligned enough to kind of keep them sort of closed. When people are super traumatized, they are wide open. So what happens is all sorts of different energies come through them. And sometimes that can be your own soul that comes through them. Sometimes a soulmate from another dimension, or your twin flame who is either not incarnated or not fully incarnated, can sort of seep through them. And so what happens is you feel that pull, you feel that energetic, and you fall in love with it. The problem is it's only like 2 or 4 or 7% of what that person is, and they're also carrying openness to every single dimension and realm at the same time. And they have demons, and they have entities, and they have disincarnated ghosts and ancestral nightmares and all sorts of things. They're just an open channel for everything. And you are sensing, one, maybe the soul that you're in love with, and also a little bit of spirit. Because, when we're completely like smashed open, that's when we kind of turn over and surrender to something greater than ourselves. It's like through that deep grief and that deep trauma that the light of spirit or God or whatever starts to come through. Well, they, unbeknownst to them and unintentionally, might be a channel for all of that. And so you feel drawn. So it's not so much that there's something deeply wrong with you, though there's, of course, things to look at. Just be aware that that's what's going on. And as you become aware of that, really start to ask the question when you start to feel romantically pulled towards someone, if that's why. Because when your subconscious mind starts to discern things and clarify, then you can sort of separate one thing from another. And you're like, oh, maybe you don't even have to fully understand it, but maybe it's 3% some soul I love, but the rest, if it's crazy, I'm going to just pass. Another reason that I think that empaths get really drawn to sort of broken, I don't want to say broken, but really sort of traumatized people is because it's interesting. It's not normal. See, like I said, most people are so just robotic. They're just so mired in the matrix and the day-to-day grind. There's not a lot of spirit coming through them. There's also not a lot of creativity because, spirit is creativity. And so the really sort of like smashed open kind of crazy people are entertaining. Like they're energetically entertaining. And most empaths are spiritual and creative because those things go together. And so there's like a fascination and almost like a fun. It's a drama. It's kind of an addiction to drama. So check in and see if you have an addiction to drama. But it's also it's like the shadow aspect of your desire to be creative. And one of the reasons that I believe personally that this happens is because there was such a split on this planet between the light and the dark. And the light became really fucking boring. If you look at like religious texts, the history of gurus, religious figures, to me, it always bored the living shit out of me. I love Mother Teresa. I have the utmost respect for her, but like that just seemed like a nightmare. There was nothing fun to me about her life. And a lot of what happened with religion is all of the fun stuff was demonized. Hollywood is storytelling, it's creativity, but Hollywood was and is very possessed by not the brightest, lightest energies in the world, and some part of us intuitively knows that. So the dark in the split kind of took the fun, creative stuff. So we check to see if you have a belief that the light is fucking boring. That being in the light is just like, I have spent a long time healing. And, from my personal experience, I always wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a writer. And I do these things. And I've met many people who I consider to be just straight healers. I've become aware of many people that are just kind of straight healers. And I don't want to say anything negative about anybody I've ever met because I love them. But to me, the straight healer type was always just boring to me. It was like, I don't just want to study trauma all day, every day, and like, that's it. Like, where's the fun? Where's the joy? Where's the story? Where's the creation? Where is what's interesting? Well, because of this split and this belief that, the light is kind of monotonous, I think as empaths, we tend to get drawn to kind of the darker sort of traumatized people because there's a lot of shit going on. It's interesting, it's colorful, it's like a circus, but it's kind of like a dark circus. So check to see if this is what's going on with you. Now, what is the solution to this? I mean, there's many, but I'm going to be covering the main solution to this problem for right now. And the answer is this. Ask consciously, ask your higher self, ask the universe for a new way of relating, for what the healthy version of the things that you're looking for actually looks like. Because we have been so stuck in duality, so stuck in one or the other, so stuck in polarity, so stuck in the light is this way, the dark is this way, that we have so many of these either or belief systems. And we filter subconsciously through these either or belief systems. So if you have like the light is boring and you don't even know that because of religion, because of your ancestry, because of your other lives, and the dark is bad, and what do you consider dark? Sex, chocolate, everything was demonized. Then we're going to be resisting the light and sort of like reaching for like the dark kind of craziness in an attempt to entertain ourselves, when you don't need to do that, because they're not separate. It's all together. And what we need to learn now is how to harmonize, come into neutrality, and find an aligned version of what we want. So what does an aligned relationship that's heart-centered and healthy look like, that's also fun, that's also exciting, that's also creative, that also is wide open to spirit? Play is not bad. Sex is not bad. Food is not bad. Like, so many of the things we've labeled as bad have gone to the dark, and it's all the stuff that makes life fun. And so we keep bouncing back and forth like windshield wipers. You don't have to do that. Ask your higher self to literally download you with all the new information, the new templates, the new blueprints, the new beliefs, the new ideas of what it looks like to have a healthy, aligned relationship that's also exciting and fun. And then ask what parts of yourself need to heal and upgrade within you in order to draw this in. A lot of times what happens is we keep calling in the same things and we keep going through the same lessons when we don't need to, simply because we don't know what else to do. Healing involves awareness first, becoming aware of the problem, healing the issue, and then wiring in or creating something new. We can't just work on the wounds. We also have to know where to go instead. And we're the creators. We're the ones that can make it up. So literally write out what a super fun, exciting, healthy relationship would look like. What do you get out of being drawn to like dark, sort of crazy people? Or why are they fascinating? Why do you believe that someone has to be super traumatized to be like that? What does a healthy divine masculine look like? What does a healthy divine feminine look like? What does a healthy clown look like? What does a healthy entertainer look like? How do you embody this? How do you realize it? How do you create it? And how do you draw it in externally in other people as well? And you won't necessarily know the answer right away. Just reflect, contemplate it, write it out, be open to it. But always know that we need to ask for the new step. We're creating things we haven't done either ever or in many thousands of years on this planet. So all of our models are just outdated. Throw them away. Let me know how this goes. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I do have a free energy clearing in the description below if you'd like to download it. Let me know if you have any comments, revelations, breakthroughs, questions. Other than that, thank you so much. I look very forward to next time, and peace.